Welcome back to my channel here. I pretty evident what's going on. My grandson's go-kart was electric, and there is a video, if I can remember it as like any other time, and I normally forget, I'll put a link in the description of where it was electric, 1.5 horsepower, and I converted it from lead acid over to lithium ion before you ever even used it. And though it was a beast for what it was, and but it just wasn't enough for him. Uh, he just wanted more. He wants power to drift. You know how kids are. But anyway, so his daddy come up with this Predator wannabe here, some Chinese something that come off a water pump, and I got to get it running. It's supposed to be good, and I'm sure I'm gonna have to build the carburetor and stuff on it. But also, oh, well, we're changing it over to gas. Yep. So that's what we're doing with this right here. I just got to sit it on a piece of wood just so I can move it in and out of the shop because we had other stuff going on with the house. But his grandma, because that's my grandson, Jax, his grandma, a conder and a bind clutch. And it is the CV style. We'll get it out in a minute, take a look at it. And we're going to convert it over. It's not going to take a lot. It's a lot on me, but I mean, it's because of my shoulder and stuff. So we're going to convert this over, and this is a one wheel appeal here. So I really would like to um, make it into a solid axle. We might start out proof of concept and everything, get him on it where he has one wheel working. I don't know yet. I'd have to buy an axle. I do have the I remember right. I did buy this. Is supposed to be for T-Biscuit, but I'm still working on that one. Go Power Sport. I think it's where I got this from Go Power Sports. Yeah, Go Power Sports. Bearing hanger kit for the axle. I've been sitting on that with 2 plus 3 years, and a chain idler system. And y'all know where I'm going with that chain idler system. And it does have the whole other roll cage. It bolts here. And this, you can extend this chassis. It's got a little deal right there where you can unbolt it and move it apart. So I have to make something a little more rigid than I guess somebody would normally put in there. Not that he's a big boy. He's a crunky boy. I think he's going to beat this to death. But we do have a roll bar that goes from top all the way around to here. So it's got seat belts, and the electric. This here was all behind the bolted here, and that's to me that's just more places to strap stuff. But what you see is what you get, and I'm not on a time crunch on this, but it is beginning of February, and I do want it done in a decent amount of time. So come spring, this is spring Alabama. Y'all think, oh, that's March? No, we get snow in March. So let's get busy on this. We have to take measurements or stuff that we need to do. I want to put this on the table, get the clutch, because this is the first time I ever used one of these CVTs, brand new out of the box. I've worked on them on um, uh, little bikes and stuff like that, but I've never had a brand new one, and so it's all new to me. But we'll get it all figured out. It's built by humans, so we can figure it out. So, this right here, no, that's just because of it was helping me sit, and I got that running. But when it got cold out a couple of weeks ago, and this won't be harmed either. We're doing work on the house. So let's get the motor up there and see what we can do about getting that clutch on and getting it back on here, just sitting here, so I know where to put my motor plate. I'll probably run a jack shaft on it. I don't know. What's cool, and I'm going to try to leverage, if it's in frame, I hope, is this right here. That would help out tremendously if I can utilize it in some way or another to bolt to it, whether it's concentric or eccentric to this hole right here. Something for the chain, I don't know. I'll figure something out. So something that could be the most bulletproof because he lives 70 miles away, and when it leaves here, it's got to be bulletproof because it'll be my son working on it if it don't. So let's get busy. All right, we got the motor up here, and I'm gonna tell you what. Trying to get that pump. I just recently threw the pump. I actually had to cut it off because everything was just so corroded on it. But I was able to save the shaft and the 4 mounting holes, which is the most important. The rest of it is in pieces. It got thrown out. So, you know, this is going to be the driver's side. And guess we got to figure out a way that would work. I'd love to have it all compact somehow uh, on there. Looks like um, you know, we got to get, I got to figure out what method in which I'm going to put on the end here to drive this thing. So if we're going to run a small jack shaft, what we might want to do is just for starters, stick it right here. The driven's going to be, I mean, the driven's here, the driving's going to be right here. Here's the drive pulley. I need to make sure that does work. I sent the link to the person, and um, um, hopefully I got my shaft right. If not, I guess I'll sit on this and I'll buy another one. But either way, I think that might work. Let me slap some bolts in here and get this figured out. And no, this isn't probably some name brand deal. I got the cheapest. Imagine that, right? I don't believe you me. This ain't all happening in one video. Because I got machining I got to do. I'm pretty confident. Set it up so I can figure out which holes I'm going to use to line up with the hole on the side that we saw. Let me, I'm going to go ahead and just put a couple washers on it because I'm going to have to shorten these bolts. It's good enough to hold it until I can figure out which holes I'm going to go in. As far as it's going to go down that way, step one, I'm going to get the engine up about 1.5 inches higher, maybe closer to 2 inches, and mount it so I can move it back and forth this way and still have plenty of length here. All right, so we're gonna let me put that up on, like everything else in Alabama that's on blocks. You know, I'm a man. I'm a cheapskate, but I'm also a one who like to make what I got work. Don't care how long it takes me to do it, but since the axles are hardened that I pulled off the snapper, I think I'm going to go ahead and get a small keyed shaft and get the pillow blocks and all that kind of stuff to go with it. It does come with a gear, so I might make everything. This will be big enough for the one wheel appeal. We'll definitely have to move up to 1 inch, 3/4 to 1 inch on the when we move over to the solid axle, since there's a lot more torque that's going to be on the system. So we'll probably just design it around this right here. This jack shaft for starters. Well, I don't know. I'll deliberate on that. I might make it so we can reuse that jack shaft to run the solid axle once we put it on here. Go ahead and have that done. All I got to do is just move the gear around, and yeah, we might go that route. I think I'll go ahead and order 3/4 inch. Do that. Let me make sure that the driver works. I'd have to. I mean, I will clean up that shaft. I got my dimensions right. All right, that fits. All right, this video's a little too short, cut off right now. So let me go and get the motor plate ordered and pillow blocks and axle shaft. and I'll bring it back around. I know it looks like I haven't done much. That's honestly, it's because I haven't done much. But I did get a motor plate in, a jack shaft, pillow block bearings, and couplers and stuff. And that tank right there, forgot I had it. I was going to use an oxygen tank. I was going to use this oxygen tank here, minus the shift handle on it, and mount it up because it's gravity feed on the row bar for my grandson as a really nice cool factor. Because I was going to put it on mine, but the volume's not enough for the Ninja motor I'm putting on it. But I can't find I'm not able to find the right bung that will really, it will work. Don't get me wrong, but I really want it where I don't have to do much JB welding or something for right now because I'm out of gas on my TIG and I've never TIGged aluminum yet. So, no, there's nothing in here. There's no oxygen. I had water in it for the longest time. But, so we're going to X-nay on this for now, but I would really love to put it on there because volume wise, it'll be work really good on this smaller engine. But no, I'm not using that right now, but I'm going to go with a plastic tank that I bought as a test tank for the Ninja motor and for T-Biscuit. So I'm going to put it off on the side. Uh, I got the I got the row bar that goes on here. I'm just going to mount it off to the side a little bit, just a little higher than the carburetor. I don't want it up too high. So that's where that's going to go. So I was just taking basic measurements of what I was going to do, and I pulled off the 82 sprocket. You can tell by my yellow marks here. I was counting how many teeth. But this is actually in wonderful condition. I mean, there is not a bent tooth, anything on it, which I wouldn't expect with only 1.8 horsepower going against it. But it is a 35 chain, and I believe it's a 420 chain that runs over. Uh, so I wanted to get this in so I knew more and got the sprocket off before I ordered the actual sprocket. So I'm going to need a uh, a 10 tooth, um, 10 tooth, 3/4 bore, uh, 420, and then one for 35 chain to run here because I'm just going to use this. For now, we're going to be going one wheel peel. And this brake's got good life on it, and it works good and all. I'm just relocating everything to the center. So, like I said, I was just taking measurements and just double checking. I wanted to get these in before I did any cutting and welding on it. So, what I've decided to do is mounts this way, but I'm going to reuse this angle iron here. I'm going to cut it off. It's only welded here and here. I'm going to cut it off, and then I'm going to cut it to size and use that as the box end for this and reuse any additional I might have left up for the small little brackets. Possibly they're going to be the small brackets that hold up this pillow block. We'll find out once we get there. I'm going to whack this off, and I'm going to cut it down to size, get it down to the bare metal. I'm going to tack it up and set it in here because we got to have it a certain height in here because even though I'm going to either bring this bar down or bring it out, give this much to give rear movement to for the chain that goes to the jack shaft, but also trying to keep the clutch as far away as I can right here. Even though we do have a clutch cover, it's still plastic. So and I'm also going to make a chain guard that goes right here around the that goes from the driven to the jack shaft, and it already has a cover. That's why I want to reutilize all this right here because it's already got a cover and everything that goes over that, and it's made out of 16-inch steel. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Ooh, I take that back. They're tacked under here too. These are, and I just whack those off. Either way, let me get to grinding. We already had to put the cats in the house, so Daddy didn't scare them. So let's Don some eye protection, being something with 3x magnification so I can see. Let's get to cutting. Oh, and if anybody's got one of these tachometers that just wrap around the plug wire, it's great for checking like generators and stuff. And I actually got it for a go-kart. Can somebody please tell me how to turn this thing off? It does not have, I bought this like 4 or 5 years ago and I don't remember anything about it. It wasn't exactly what I wanted, so I didn't use it. Um, um, sorry. I don't know how, it doesn't look like it's got a battery compartment and it doesn't look to be solar powered, but the thing just stays on. I don't know. I mean, it was in a box for like 3 years and I pulled it out of the box and it was on. Oh, weird. Yeah, soap rags. Interesting. But I had to take a break from this because I had to get on the other generator from the church. I had to wait for one of the kids to come home to get out of the back of my truck because I couldn't lift it. So been working just ever so slightly. All right, we got that critter off, so let me go ahead and put the flap wheel on and clean this up. I'm gonna have to put some welds on here and then clean it back up again. I cut into it a little bit. Sorry, just the angles I had to play with here. So, well, I just had to get it up off the ground. Back was killing me. So, felt I got the pieces cut up and made it to the lower box. Got some bend out. I'm gonna straighten all those up in the vise and stuff. But either way, it's ready to ground down and weld after I straighten it out, and had to put some shims underneath it because of the welds that are still under this one and that one over there. So I think it's turned out pretty good. So we'll get this on there, and I need this completely straight before I weld this to it. I don't want this deflecting in it. That's really straight, and that's where our engine bolts down. So I want that as flat as possible. So I'll bring you around after I either show you welding it or me after. I don't know yet. We get to it, figure it out. Tired. Well, on the power plant, what we got here is a 212 uh, Honda clone, and it's got compression. That's all I need to see. The gas tank is in really, really bad shape. So we're going to be making one, and y'all see that down the road. I'm making it out of an oxygen tank. Kind of cool factor for my grandson. Um, Never made a gas tank before. Okay, fuel cells, yes, and customs for race cars, but not for a go-kart. So um, I can't wait to do that. But anyway, it will not run. I'm not even going to pull it and show you. So the problem's in the carburetor. So we need to go ahead and check the oil just to make sure, get that out of the way. And then I'm going to be turning on the carburetor. It's probably not going to be a lot of audio on this one because my son's working in the background. And I am not going to stop him from listening to his music because he works great when he's listening to his music. So I'll probably do a voiceover on this one. So let's go ahead and get started. Sonny, turn your music back on. You didn't have to. Hey, we lucked out. It has two of them on this one, so that's pretty cool. Well, it's dripping out the top, so it's full of oil, but it definitely needs to be changed. Oh, it feels good. It's got good viscosity, so that's a good sign. So y'all notice on my table here, it's a fairly new one. I made a video of putting this together. I might really condense it down and like put it, but it's worth every dollar I spent at Harbor Freight on super sale for it. It is. I wish I had the money to buy two of these, if not more. Really nice, and I got all my petrology and stuff in there, and I got some of my college stuff and all my angle finders and stuff and scribing. And over here, I got my more metrology, but more of the bits for my lathe and uh, my files and uh, end mills there. So anyway, let's go ahead and oil's good, so I got to flip back around. I'm going to go ahead and take the gas tank off, throw it away, and yank carburetor off. Bring it a little closer so maybe we can get the lighting a little better, because y'all know how it is when you got light in the background, it darkens everything in the foreground. I just took this bolt out here. Go ahead and take this one off next. Got something there. Ooh. Ooh. Um, Manipulate this out. Okay, got it apart now, so I can go ahead and go ahead and start tearing into the carburetor here. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the engine back down so I have all this room. And it looks, other than this, looks just like what was on the 212 on the generator that I haven't showed that video yet. Be right back. I got to break these loose in the vise. All right, I got it apart. Go ahead and bowl off. I'm sure it is a tragedy in there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That is wondiferous. Where's the jet? All right, jet's still in there. I hope I can get that jet out. This is bad. Look at that. Wow. Y'all see that on camera? Oh yeah. We're gonna see what the vat can do for us. That was good. All right, and I broke this loose right here with a choke. Wow, that is amazing. Amazing. Wow. That's not amazing. That is very impressive. We'll say that. This should come off. No, it's bad. Yeah. So, if it comes down to it, I gotta make an adapter. I got some Macoonies lying around here, racing Macoonies. Mm.
Look in that corner real quick.
Oh, it looks straight.
me. Look, you notice anything funny over there? Does it matter? Not too long.
I nothing that just jumps out at me with it. If the ladder's in the way, stopping it.
Bottom of that board.
Ain't a whole bunch to grab on, so I mean, see, I cut little blunt nose so they can grab the edge. I'm gonna dip it first because I cannot break that jet loose. So maybe that might help. So I'm gonna dip it. Go and scratch some of this out so I don't dirty up all my stuff. We're gonna let that simmer for a while, and then we'll check back on that. I'll try to get this broken loose. PB blaster or something. Moves now, so it looks like a spring off a mechanical vents. Well, we got updates on the carburetor. I've added this thing several times, and it is just so bad, and the jet just strips out trying to get it out. So I'm gonna move over to a Mikuni. Go ahead and buy an adapter, whatnot. I'll probably take the Mikuni for testing purposes. Take the Mikuni off my my 250cc off T-Biscuit. It doesn't run yet, but just need it for testing. So, working back on the church generator, there'll be another video on that. So I brought it back here to change the gas and to dip the carburetor. Just so happens this is a 212 and this one's a 212, and the carburetor does work, just not that good, and I want to hear this thing bark off. So before I build the carburetor, well, vat it, and then finish building it, I'm going to test it on this engine. It's got compression, whole nine yards, so we're going to try this real quick. So let's see what happens. Should run. Well, as long as it's got, ignition works and all that. Because in the off position, says it's got compression, so I went ahead and somewhat hooked up the governor just to have a return spring. But either way, let's see if this thing will bark off. I pulled it straight off that one I turned the fuel on, put fuel in the bowl, so it's got should have enough to start. We'll find out. Ain't a whole bunch to hold on to here. See how long this lasts in my hand right there. All I need to do is just get my hand back over here to the off button. I need to open the throttle, but a little hard for me to do that. I don't have the rest of the bracket assembly on here. So I'll just take the governor loose. This is going to be interesting. Joe. It barked. good enough for me. All right. Go ahead and start building this carburetor here. I'm going to get a new plug and everything for it. Just want to make sure ignition and everything works, because it was running fine. Then just was, I guess, put in a tree row and it's left outside. But the story is it ran like a new one. So, and the pump was just locked up when I got it. So let's go ahead and build this monkey. Well, we got some updates. As you can tell, some things have changed. When I was putting some stuff together on it, I forgot to hit record because I was working on a generator also, and let's just say things aren't working out for me on that for running double videos. But either way, we got the engine plate on, and there is a T-brace under there that goes all the way across. And if you remember, that bar right there was not there, so I got that welded in, and a T-brace under here. And I'm on the fence whether or not to run me a hoop to come around the engine to that. And I think I'm going to wait. We might do it down the road. This thing's going to handle plenty of power even without that. It's just that if he is to hit, this is going on a 12-year-old. He turns 12 next month. So if he hits the back, I didn't want it to bend up that plate. So I'm going to hold off on that part. But other than the welds on the front of these bars, because I got to remove the seat because I can't see, it's pretty much all welded up. I still got to flip it over and just make sure. I did flip it on its side and get to some welds, but I do want to flip it over before final paint on the bottom and make sure everything's good and welded up. But I temporarily put the roll cage on because I wanted to get the tank mounted. And you're thinking, well, on the roll bar, this thing will roll. Well, I think the problems are going to be worse than a gas tank ripping off if he actually crushes that one particular corner by looking at the angle here. So, well, it's going to stay anyway because I made that bracket system as welded in. But I got the that off my go-kart, waiting on the engine to go on, and the engine is where? Oh, the engine's in the seat. Where am I at? I have not got the jack shaft supports welded in yet because now I'm going to go ahead and set the engine in here and get some measurements, validate my measurements, because I've already set it in several times after I've welded that, tack welded that in and made sure that the proper length and all that. I still have not ordered the gears for the jack shaft, because I was a little on the fence of whether I was going to run a 420 chain on the outside also. But I'm going to go ahead and run 35 chain, and the reason being is we got your brake. I cleaned these up really nice and painted those with VHT, but that gear was like brand new. So I just took the rust off, and we're going to go to 35 chain on the outside, which will handle 6.5 horse with no problems. Still got all the work to do on the front, but the main ticket here is to get this going. So once I get this going and the engine runs good, I'm going to test drive it with the tiny pedals off and use the back pedals, and if everything runs good with that, then I go ahead and relocate the steer and relocate the pedals, because I want everything in the center, as you can tell. Just make it as neutral as possible and get as much fun and use as we can out of this one particular go-kart. Even though this is a Kango, there's no suspension on it. I would like to at least run the front springs, but I don't think those knuckles will support. They need to be a little taller. Those are fairly heavy duty, but I think they need to be just a little taller to put the spring, the spring and everything in there. So I'd like to have front disc on this here. But anyway, let's get this engine on here and let's get some fitment going. I don't know what to do with my tie down hardware that came with my plate. I really hope I didn't throw it away. No, that's fine. That's for the live axle setup down the road. Well, you know, if I threw it away, I threw it away, but I don't think I did. Nope. I did not. I like to run these rubber mounts on here, but no, I don't need any flexing, because if it flexes any between the jack shaft and the driven, that chain might come off. And I just got to looking. I might have to redesign something here. Because I didn't notice this pulley, excuse me, this gear here. That's not good to get on the chain. Fits. Oh yeah, that fits good. Yeah, that looks good. Let's go ahead and get the belt on. Time enough for testing. But I do need to get another bolt in this bottom. Then I got to change carburetors out. Sorry, Justin, let's stick you in here. Yeah, there ain't no picking this thing up to. Nope. But I made some elbows and some stuff. I got some plastic parts. This is just for testing. What's going on here? I think it was spitting out around that. Did that come off or something? Alright, let's try this again. Well, as you can see where we're at, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video right here because I still got more. I got to build the jack shaft. I got to build jack shaft supports. I need to make it where this chain will have clearance to go to the jack shaft, and possibly even throw some more supports along this area here. This looks like a good place to support that. I can make something to go right there. That's just what I want to do to make this even stronger. So even though this is a Chinesium, kind of flimsy to me, but anyway, I got to do that, and this is more work to do on this. But I'll bring y'all back around when I get that, get to getting back on that. So. Well, let's just say 2 weeks passed by, blew it apart, and painted it. Even all the shiny metal fiddly bits, they're all clear coated. So, you know, it's helped keep the rust down. But, well, I will be delivering this Sunday for this is my grandson. He turns 12, and this thing is an absolute animal. No joke. I've never had go-karts up fast enough where the tires are out of balance. That one goes nuts. You smoke the tire so hard right here. This one actually starts to hop like an old leaf spring. Yeah, she gets it on pretty good. But I had problems when my son was out here, was thrashing on it, putting a good beat down on it to, you know, get stuff wearing in and all that, back before I blew it apart. It wouldn't idle. I mean, he got on it. I mean, he was whining it up there. But we ended up blowing the, you couldn't see it, but the intake gasket where the adapter here meets the head on the very bottom, it blew out. And I looked at everything. Everything's square, so I don't know why that happened. The bolts were tight. Everything's flat. So anyway, it's all cleaned up, and I actually put some Gorilla Snot on the gasket when I put it back together. I got a little, I'm trying to get my wife on the Cricut to print my emblem to put right there. And I also made a plate to go over the top. This is kind of a shield also. That's 1/8 inch aluminum. and just a little more protection. I'm going to get a pulse pump on it, and I want to put that tank down there because I want to ride this thing without the roll bar. It's kind of dangerous, but yeah, that's like 40 pounds right there you get rid of. This thing's got a really good hole shot, even with the single wheel, so this thing will bite hard coming off, you know, a turn once we get a live axle. But yeah, I put a remote keel right there under the steering wheel on the column, and just run the wiring through the tube. And of course, you know, it was gas, so I had to change everything over for the carburetor. But it did pretty good. So happy birthday, Jax. It's gonna be yours. Hopefully you don't see this video because I'm gonna post it tonight, and this is Friday, and I don't think my grandkids watch my channel anyway. But a third of what I do is for the kids and the family. So, but anyway, I hope you like what I got here, and I'm gonna try to get a video going this week because I'm gonna have my four-wheeler, and my son will be on my grandson's pit bike. So we're gonna go have some fun, and it's supposed to rain, so it's gonna be really fun. So on old property, but we do need to get some pool noodles put on there for some protection. But we'll cross that road when we get there. He's got a helmet. See, I even painted the stop and go on the pedals there. And I cleaned up the steering wheel. I think it turned out really nice. So, God bless. I'm out.